Relax and feel the surroundings. Close your eyes if you like, and let your body find the place where it feels most supported. The soft rise of a pillow, the gentle cradle of a blanket. Breathe in slowly and out. Notice the air as it moves in and out of your nose, cool on the in-breath, softer on the out-breath. With each breath, you can feel more grounded, more present, and more willing to let the day's small noises drift away. Short note on method. I researched common, evidence-based structures used in sleep and hypnotic scripts, so this narration follows a gentle induction gives. Progressive relaxation gives deepening imagery, gives soothing storytelling, gives soft conclusion, realerting pattern, induction, deepening, suggestion, awakening. These elements are commonly recommended in sleep hypnosis writing and progressive muscle relaxation guides, hypnae.com. Plus 2 Anos 2. Now allow a steady, easy rhythm to spread through your body as I speak. Breathe in and out. Let your shoulders drop, your jaw soften, your hands rest loose and heavy. If a thought comes, that's okay, simply watch it like a leaf floating past on a slow stream and return your attention to your breath. Imagine now a small old village at dusk. The sky is a deep indigo, and a thin, gentle breeze moves through the lane, carrying the scent of wood smoke and lavender. Hear the soft rustle of the leaves, the hushed footsteps on worn cobblestones, and the distant, comforting crackle of a hearth in someone's home. Each tiny sound only helps you relax deeper. The breath in your chest slows, your limbs feel pleasantly heavy, and a warm calm settles behind your eyes. Our story today begins in the quiet heart of that village, where lanterns glow like sleepy stars and the river hums a low, steady lullaby. You might feel each sentence as if it is a slow step down a staircase, with every step heavier, calmer, letting go more. Step and relax. Step and breathe. Step and drift a little softer. In the village, there lived a cobbler with hands steady enough to sew midnight into shoes. He liked to sit by his own small fire each evening, listening to the world move around him. One autumn night, when the moon was thin and the air smelled of damp leaves, something odd happened, a single furious event that would ripple across lane and hillside, and cause the elders to fashion a law that would be whispered about for generations. Picture the cobbler's lane now, lantern light pools on stone. A cat slips past a gate. You can feel the cool air on your forehead, the gentle weight of a blanket at your knees. As the scene becomes clearer, your breathing may become even slower, even softer. Notice how your muscles continue to loosen, starting from the scalp, down the neck, through the shoulders, letting go, down the arms, the chest, the belly, the thighs, all the way to the toes. Heavy, safe, relaxed. On that night, a traveling minstrel arrived with a lute whose strings were worn thin. He had a voice like a slow stream, low notes that felt like velvet and quieter notes that were like a feather brushing glass. The minstrel walked too near the cobbler's door, and a misunderstanding, small as a spark, became wild as winter wind. A spilled barrel, a startled horse, a lantern tipped, and suddenly the market was bright with panic and flames leapt hungry at the thatch. As I tell this, picture the flame light reflected in a window pane, warm and distant. Feel the calm contrast between the safety of your own place and the small drama in the story. You are only a soft listener, sheltered and relaxed, and the tale can carry all its heat away without touching you. Let the story be a gentle river that carries you deeper into ease. The villagers moved with a soft intensity, like hands practiced at cooling embers, buckets passed, murmurs of slowly now, and the steady rhythm of effort. They saved the thatch, they soothed the frightened horse. And when the last ash settled, there was a hush that felt like a held breath. In that hush, the village agreed that something must change, not harshly, but carefully, a rule to keep their quiet nights from spilling into such alarm again. As I say these words, you may notice a pleasant heaviness behind the eyes, a warm, floaty sensation in your chest. Allow that to be a sign that the story is guiding you toward rest. The villagers decided with thoughtful calm that no traveler would play loud music near thatch after dusk. A small law, yes, but one born from one particular, surprising night. Think of how a single ripple can reshape the surface of a pond. Notice how gentle repetition of a rule can be like folding a soft blanket, neat, comforting, protective. Feel now the scene slow further, like the last pages of a well-loved book being turned. The minstrel, apologetic, learned to place his music in the square instead of under low eaves. The cobbler returned to his bench, humming a soft tune as he stitched the day's last solace. The village resumed its rhythm, steady and tender, like a heart finding its even beat. Each small sound in the night now becomes a part of the lullaby that helps you descend toward sleep. If your mind wanders, that is perfectly natural. Gently guide it back to the imagery. The glow of the hearth, the hush of the lane, the soft footfalls of someone returning home. With each return, you can slip deeper. Let the words slow you, like warm honey pouring, slower, thicker, sweeter. Allow each sentence to be an invitation to soften further. The law born from that night was simple and kind. It taught the villagers to be mindful of one another's rest. Over time, the rule became a story they told by the fire, told in low voices so it might wash over the listeners like the tide. Now imagine yourself by that same hearth, your breath a steady rising and falling flame. Feel the blanket's weight like a gentle seal, calming and familiar. As the minutes pass in this scene, allow your eyelids to grow heavier if they wish. If you're comfortable, you may let them rest closed, and feel how the gentle cadence of language settles into the space behind them. Your breathing continues, slow and even, matching the river's soft song beyond the lane. Long after the villagers slept, the night kept its watch, a low, attentive presence. You are wrapped in that same quiet diligence now. The final ember of the story glows warmly, then cools, and with that cooling comes a deeper softness inside you. You can keep breathing in this calm, staying here as long as you need. When you are ready to drift completely, let the last image be of lanterns bowed to sleep, of leaves breathed still by the breeze, and of the village breathing as one. Let the sound of my voice be like a gentle rocking, and allow that rocking to carry you into a restful place. Allow your mind to settle into the quiet rhythm of the night, as our story today continues in that same peaceful village, where laws were shaped not by scholars in grand halls but by the strange surprising moments life brought to simple people. A deep breath in, and slowly out. Our story tonight sets sail again near the riverside path, where the moon's pale shimmer turns the water into brushed silver. The air is cool and fragrant with damp moss, and the nighttime chorus of crickets plays a soft, patient melody. With every sound you imagine, let yourself slide deeper into calm, as though the river's gentle current is drawing you downstream into sleep. The morning after the minstrel's accidental chaos, the villagers gathered near the old oak that stood like a patient guardian over the square. Dew sparkled across the grass, each droplet catching the newborn sunlight like tiny beads of glass. The cobbler arrived first, his boots squeaking faintly from the damp. Then came the baker, wiping flour from her sleeves, followed by shepherds, weavers, and wandering merchants who had paused their travels to listen. They spoke quietly, not upset, not shaken, simply steady and thoughtful, the way people speak after a night that reminded them how fragile peace can be. The village elder, a man with a beard like drifting clouds and eyes deep set with kindness, stood at the heart of the group. His voice when he finally spoke was soft, worn smooth by age and wisdom. "My friends," he said, "a night like last night comes only once. But it teaches us something that lasts." His words were slow, gentle, like ripples forming around a stone dropped into still water. "And so," he continued, "we will give the night its quiet back. No music by lantern light. Not unless the stars themselves ask for it." There was a soft murmur of agreement. All around, you could imagine nods, smiles, and small breaths of relief. In that simple moment, the law was born. Not carved on the tablets, not sealed with wax, but made real by quiet, mutual understanding. As I describe this, feel how the rhythm of the elder's voice is reflected in your own breath. Slow, easy, predictable, like waves brushing sand. Let the calm of the villagers become your calm. Let their stillness become your stillness. But this is only the beginning of our long drifting story. For the village had more than one law shaped by wild whispered incidents, and to understand them, we must follow the path beyond the square into the forest where tall pines sway and the air feels thicker, warmer, alive with secrets. Take another breath, feel your body soften, and come with me, gently, into the wooded shade. The forest was a place of stories, some true, some embroidered gently with imagination, the way a weaver adds gold thread to a simple cloak. But one incident, one unforgettable event, shaped a rule so unusual that travelers passing through would blink and ask, "Why on earth is that forbidden here?" The story begins with a miller, a quiet man named Relin, who loved one thing more than grinding flour: collecting mushrooms. He would wander the woods with a wicker basket, humming under his breath, brushing aside leaves in search of the rarest, softest, most delicate fungi. His basket was always half full, for the forest was generous and gentle to him. But one early dawn, when mist hung low like a wandering spirit and the forest floor glowed faintly with moisture, Relin found something he had never seen before. A mushroom as wide as a dinner plate, glowing with a pale blue luminescence, as though moonlight lived inside its thin, delicate skin. Curious, delighted, he plucked it gently and placed it into his basket. What Relin didn't know, what no villager knew, was that the mushroom released a spore so potent, so strangely enchanting, that anyone who inhaled it would drift into a dreamy haze, smiling absently at everything, and wandering wherever their feet took them. Not harmed, but not exactly aware either. As Relin carried the mushroom back toward the village, the spores trailed behind him like tiny drifting lanterns. Birds perched above him blinked slowly, their songs softening. A fox paused mid-step, gazing dreamily into the trees. And Relin himself felt his eyelids droop, though he continued to hum in a slow, dreamy rhythm. He reached the village gates just as the first villagers woke. And when they inhaled that same strange blue dust, they too began to sway lightly, drifting into pleasant little trances. Bakers forgot their dough. Shepherds wandered without their sheep. Children giggled at nothing in particular, walking around with dreamy smiles. The entire village became a soft, drifting cloud of drowsy contentment. No danger, no harm, just a gentle haze. But when the elder realized what had happened, after walking in slow circles for nearly half an hour, he ordered the mushroom to be taken deep into the forest and buried, beneath a flat stone so large even the strongest of men would struggle to lift it. And then the law was set: no villager may carry a wild mushroom across the village gate until dawn has fully touched the sky. A strange law, a gentle law. A law made not from anger or fear, but from one drowsy, glowing morning when the village wandered like sleepwalkers beneath the rising sun. As you imagine this scene, the drifting villagers, the glowing spores, the elder rubbing his temples with a tired smile, let your body drift too. Let the softness of their drowsiness mirror your own. Let your breath deepen, like the slow inhalation of forest air. Let your thoughts loosen, float, and settle wherever they please. The forest grows quieter now, its sounds becoming more distant, as your body sinks further into relaxation. You might feel a warm heaviness in your limbs, a pleasant softness in your chest, or a gentle lightness in your thoughts, as though a wind were carrying them on its back. The blue glowing mushroom had been buried, its spores long settled into stillness, but the memory of that entranced morning lingered in the villagers' stories. They often chuckled softly when recalling how the baker stirred an empty bowl for nearly an hour, or how the children walked in slow circles humming tuneless songs. The law that came from it, the dawn mushroom rule, was odd, yes, but it became a gentle reminder of the forest's whims. And now we drift further. Breathe slowly. Feel the air cool as you inhale, warm as you exhale. Let your eyelids grow just a bit heavier as we follow the river toward another curious incident. The river that curved around the village was wide and placid, its surface often smooth enough to reflect the sky like a still mirror. Yet on certain nights, especially near the end of summer, the river had a habit of playing tricks. Or at least so the villagers believed. Our next story begins along that riverbank, where reeds whispered secrets and the moon rested low, heavy, and golden on the water. It happened on a night when the sky was velvet dark, thick with stars. A young fisherman named Alder had been casting his net near the shallows, humming softly to keep himself company. His lantern flickered beside him, grazing the water with trembling rings of light. Alder was patient, gentle, and always respectful of the river. But he had one flaw: curiosity. And on that particular night, curiosity found him. As Alder pulled his net from the water, he felt something unusual. Not the wriggling of fish, not the weight of caught weeds, but something perfectly still. Something heavy. Something smooth. He untangled the net carefully and found inside it a polished, rounded stone unlike any other. It was carved with delicate swirling lines, spirals within spirals, and it pulsed faintly with a soft reddish glow, as though embers lived under its surface. Alder blinked. He leaned closer. The stone warmed his fingers. And then the river began to hum. Not loudly, but softly, like someone whispering a song beneath the water. The reeds leaned. The surface rippled, though no wind touched it. Alder felt a strange warmth spread through his arms, then his chest, then behind his eyes, pulling him toward the water's dark, shimmering depths. He didn't feel fear, just a drifting sense of invitation. The stone vibrated gently in his palms, pulsing with that same warm glow. He stepped forward, 1 foot into the water, then the next. But before he could wade deeper, a voice cut through the night like the steady strike of a staff on stone. Alder, the village healer, an older woman named Marin, stood on the bank with her cloak wrapped tightly around her, her eyes fixed on the glowing stone. Put it down, Alder blinked at her, dazed. But it's beautiful, put it down, she repeated softly, firmly. And step away from the water. Hypnotized by her calm authority, Alder set the stone on the riverbank. The instant he let go, the humming ceased. The river fell silent. The reeds stilled. The glow dimmed. The stone cooled. Alder shivered suddenly as though waking from a dream. Marin sighed, crouching beside the strange object. With careful hands, she covered it with river silt, whispering a soft chant the villagers had never quite understood. When she finished, she placed a flat rock atop it, and that was that. Except, the next morning, Marin made a quiet announcement in the village square, her tone grave but gentle. No villager may take anything glowing from the river at night. Not stone, not shell, not treasure. If it glows after dusk, leave it be. The villagers exchanged puzzled looks. Children whispered excitedly. Fishermen nodded knowingly. And Alder, cheeks warm with embarrassment, simply rubbed the back of his neck and promised never to test fate or curious glowing stones again. Thus the second strange law was born. As you breathe now, imagine the river at night. Soft ripples, silver reflections, cool mist rising from the surface. Feel the gentle mystery of the glowing stone. Not alarming, not frightening, just quietly enchanting. Let that image settle somewhere deep inside your mind, like a small lantern glowing on a distant bank. Let your breath slow with the river's pace. Let your body become as still as its calmest surface. Let the soft hum of the night guide you deeper, deeper into stillness, deeper into ease, deeper into the softness of this unfolding tale. The villagers followed the river rule faithfully for many years. Some said the stone was magical. Others said it was merely a mineral reacting with the moon. But all agreed on one thing: the river kept its secrets. And some secrets were better left beneath the surface. Now rest your hands softly. Loosen your jaw. Let the tension melt from your shoulders like warm wax. For we are about to wander to the third unusual medieval law, born from an incident so peculiar, so unexpectedly chaotic, that villagers laughed about it for generations. This one takes place in the meadow. Feel your breath deepen again. Feel your body sinking just a bit more heavily into comfort. As the scene shifts from the river to tall golden grass swaying under a lazy summer sun, the meadow was home to sheep, butterflies, and one very mischievous goat named Briar. And one afternoon, the meadow stretched wide and golden beneath the midsummer sun, its tall grasses swaying in slow, gentle waves. Dragonflies buzzed lazily above scattered wildflowers, their wings catching the light like shards of glass. This was the quiet heart of the village's grazing land, a place of simplicity, warmth, and sleepy afternoons. But within this peaceful meadow lived a creature who was anything but simple. Briar, a goat whose horns curled like question marks, whose eyes glimmered with mischief, and whose hooves seemed magnetically attracted to anything he shouldn't be near. The villagers had a running joke: where trouble wanders, Briar follows. Yet even they could not have predicted the particular chaos he was about to unleash. Take a soft breath. Let the corners of your eyes relax. And picture that meadow gently shimmering under warm sunlight. It was festival season, the time of year when the villagers celebrated the turning of summer. They decorated the meadow with fluttering ribbons, woven garlands, and tables of fresh bread, cheese, honeyed pastries, and barrels of cider. Children danced barefoot in the grass, shepherds tuned small wooden flutes, and old friends shared stories under the shade of the lone willow tree. Everything was calm, cheerful, bright, until Briar woke up from his nap. He lifted his head slowly, blinking at the colorful ribbons dancing in the wind. To Briar, ribbons were simply chewable decorations. He trotted over, curious and delighted. One nibble turned into two, two became three. Before long he had freed half the garland, which fluttered dramatically across his horns like a victory crown. A nearby child giggled. Briar took this as encouragement. He strutted into the festival grounds with the confidence of a king. First he nudged a basket of apples. Then he somehow climbed onto a hay bale and leapt dramatically into a tray of pastries, sending flour blooming into the air like snow. A musician's flute was knocked sideways. A table of cups rattled dangerously. But this was merely the beginning. Briar's eyes landed on something wonderful. Something magnificent, something glowing with potential. The cider barrel. The massive, carefully crafted, freshly tapped cider barrel that the villagers had saved all year for the festival. With single-minded determination, Briar trotted toward it. A young shepherd spotted him and whispered, "No, nitrogen monoxide." As he rushed forward, too late, Briar bumped the barrel. Just a tiny bump. Just enough to wobble it. It rolled, and once it rolled, it kept rolling. The shepherd chased it, children squealed, villagers shouted warnings, and Briar, delighted with his unintended success, galloped after his rolling prize. The cider barrel thundered through the meadow like a drunken giant, knocking over tables, scattering pastries, and startling every grazing sheep within 100 paces. A baker trying to stop it ended up spinning in circles. A merchant dove out of the way. The village elder was nearly bowled over as the barrel roared past him. All the while, Briar pranced behind it, wearing his ribbon crown proudly, bleeding with pure joy. Finally, after a chaotic chase that left half the meadow decorated in cider, the barrel crashed softly into the willow tree and came to rest. The villagers, panting and flustered, stared in exhausted silence. Briar hopped onto the barrel triumphantly and bleated again, as if accepting applause. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the elder lifted his staff, tapped it gently on the ground, and said with the calm resignation of a man defeated by a goat, "We need a law." The villagers burst into laughter, tired, breathless laughter, the kind that breaks tension and turns chaos into memory. And so the meadow rule was made. During festival days, all barrels must be secured with rope. And no goat may roam the meadow untethered. It became one of the village's most beloved laws, a gentle reminder of the day Briar the goat turned a peaceful celebration into a cider-soaked adventure. Briar, for his part, never understood why he suddenly received so much supervision. But he accepted the extra attention graciously, as goats often do. As you imagine this scene, the rolling barrel, the laughing villagers, the goat with ribbons tangled in his horns, feel your body warm with the softness of harmless mischief. Let your shoulders drop a bit more. Let your breath deepen, slow and even. Let a quiet smile form inside your mind. For stories like this, silly, gentle, filled with laughter, have a way of relaxing the heart. Now, as the sun in the meadow dips lower, staining the grasses in deeper gold, we drift once more toward calm. The villagers clean up the festival ground, tying barrels securely, watching Briar with affectionate suspicion. A calm returns to the land. We move again, past the meadow's edge, back through the winding paths, toward a more secret corner of the village, where another strange incident once happened. One that led to a law even more unusual, whispered with both amusement and awe. A law born from moonlight mischief and a misunderstanding so spectacular it became legend. The sun slipped behind the hills, leaving behind streaks of lavender and rose across the evening sky. Lanterns flickered awake one by one, glowing like sleepy fireflies along the village paths. As dusk deepened, the gentle buzz of crickets began their nightly hum, weaving a soft blanket of sound over the land. And now we follow a moonlit path, a winding one, quiet, familiar, leading toward an incident so strange, so unexpected, that it inspired a medieval rule whispered with equal parts amusement and disbelief. Breathe in and out. Feel yourself drifting deeper as the sky above darkens into a soft, velvety blue. Our story sets sail again on a night when the moon shone brighter than usual, so bright that shadows stretched long and sharp across the cobblestones. It was the night of the full moon market, a beloved tradition where villagers gathered to trade handmade trinkets, sweet pastries, herbs, candles, all under the glowing lantern light. But on this particular night, things did not go quite as planned. The full moon market began calmly. Musicians played soft lute melodies. Children darted between stalls with honey sticks and warm bread. Lanterns swayed gently on ropes, casting golden halos over the crowd. At the center of the square stood a tall wooden pole wrapped in ribbons, a symbol of celebration, and beneath it, a table covered in bottles of moon milk. Moon milk was not an ordinary drink. It was a sweet, creamy mixture made from warm milk, lavender, crushed berries, and a little bit of honey. The villagers believed that drinking moon milk under a full moon brought vivid dreams, pleasant ones full of soft colors and gentle wandering thoughts. The moon milk stall was run by Tamsin, the village herbalist, a gentle woman with silver-streaked hair and a calm voice that soothed even the most restless souls. She had made a particularly large batch for this night. And this is where the trouble began. Tamsin's moon milk was always delicious, but this time, it was extra delicious. Little did she know that in her haste earlier that day, she had picked a handful of Dreamer's Blossom instead of regular lavender. Dreamer's Blossom was a harmless wildflower that grew near the river, known for its mild, sleep-inducing effects. When added to warm milk, it deepened relaxation and made people feel very floaty, not dangerous, not harmful. Just extremely dreamy. The villagers didn't notice, of course. Not right away. As the market buzzed with laughter, music, and chatter, more and more people drank Tamsin's moon milk. And then, it began. Slowly at first. A shepherd buying a candle blinked twice, then stared lovingly at it, whispering, "You are the brightest star in the sky?" A baker giggled at her own reflection in a polished pot, waving softly to herself. A group of children began stacking apples into a tower that leaned more dangerously with every giggle. One man attempted to barter with a loaf of bread, insisting it had emotional value. Another villager insisted his shoes were singing and removed them to listen more closely. As more villagers drank the moon milk, their behavior grew even more dreamlike. A farmer wandered around petting lantern posts. An old merchant tried to sell his own hat to himself. A teenage girl danced gracefully with a broom, convinced it was a noble partner. And one particularly poetic man stood in the middle of the square and recited dramatic poetry to a basket of potatoes. Meanwhile, Tamsin watched in confusion as her customers behaved increasingly oddly. It wasn't long before the village elder arrived, his face a masterpiece of baffled concern. "What," he asked slowly, "is happening here?" A villager nearby responded dreamily, "The moon is whispering compliments to my elbows." The elder blinked. Tamsin blinked. The villagers swayed. At one point, someone tried to give the village goat Briar a flower crown, and Briar, not to be left out, began following a group of dream-drunk villagers like a revered king. The square became a strange, harmless, whimsical scene of sleepy chaos. And while nothing dangerous happened, it was clear that the combination of moonlight, revelry, and Dreamer's Blossom had turned the full moon market into an impromptu play of dream-walking villagers. Eventually, after her initial shock subsided, Tamsin made a calming herbal tea to counteract the effects. The villagers slowly drifted back to normal, though several of them awoke the next morning with vague memories of dancing with vegetables or reading poetry to pots and pans. The elder, unsurprisingly, called for a meeting. With a sigh that spoke of deep experience and even deeper patience, he declared, "Under no circumstances shall any herbs be added to moon milk except regular lavender and honey. And no moon milk shall be served until the herbalist has tasted it first." Villagers agreed wholeheartedly, some while hiding their faces in embarrassment. And thus another strange medieval law was born, the moon milk rule. Since that night, every full moon market was a little more cautious, but still filled with warmth, laughter, and gentle dreaming. As you imagine this dreamy chaos, the laughter, the sleep-dancing villagers, the moon shining brightly overhead, feel your body drift into that same soft, floaty calm. Let the images settle around you like feathers drifting downward. Your body is heavier now, your breath softer, your thoughts quieter. We've walked through glowing rivers, magical mushrooms, rolling barrels, and dream-laced moon milk. But the night still isn't finished. There's another law. One whispered as the strangest of them all. Born from a single unbelievable event that happened high in the hills. And as the warmth gently settles around you, just like a quilt pulled over tired shoulders, we drift further into the sleepy roads of this tale. Each detail becomes softer. Each breath a little slower, each sound a little more distant. Almost as though the world itself is exhaling with you, our story. still wandering through the quiet, lantern-lit paths of the village of Greywick. Now follows the gentle ripple left behind by Sir Rowan's decision, and the new law that blossomed from it like a strange flower among stones. Because after the night of the Spiregate incident, something remarkable happened. People began to feel safer. A law created because of one insane, nearly forgotten moment had unexpectedly wrapped the villagers in a sense of calm. A simple rule, no entering the spire grounds after sunset, became in time a comfort, a familiar boundary, a quiet guardian watching over them. And yet, even within that stillness, something else was stirring. A whisper, a rumor, a soft little question carried across hushed taverns and hearthrooms. What exactly happened that night, and why truly was the law made? Because only a few villagers knew the truth, and those who did kept it tucked behind their ribs like a secret that vibrated whenever the wind shifted. The rest of Greywick had only pieces shadows of the real story. Some said Rowan had seen a ghostly stag of bone and silver. Others claimed the spirit of an old king had risen up from beneath the tower stones, furious about a forgotten debt. One very imaginative baker swore that Rowan had battled a massive owl with glowing blue feathers. The baker exaggerated often, but the real truth, that truth moved quietly. Like soft footsteps in freshly fallen snow. Like candle smoke curling toward a dark ceiling. And to understand that truth fully, to hear the story beneath the story, we must follow Rowan once more. Not to the spire, no. But to the Hall of Ink and Feather, a peaceful place. A sleepy place. A place where the old scribes moved like drifting clouds, slow, soft, unbothered by anything that wasn't parchment or quill. Tonight, the hall is quiet. Most of the candles have melted low. The great cleric Owl Feathermore rests upon the rafters with his wings tucked neatly, dreaming perhaps of moonlit hunts. Rowan pushes open the oak doors, and the gentle creak echoes through the chamber like a cold breath. Inside, at a small wooden desk, sits Elder Myron, the oldest scribe in the kingdom, and perhaps the slowest moving human ever to exist. His beard drapes like soft clouds over his lap. His eyes, soft and watery, blink with the patience of a creature who has outlived urgency. When Rowan approaches, he looks up, giving a subtle nod that carries more weight than any royal decree. "Sit," he whispers, voice as thin as parchment. Rowan sits, and Myron begins to speak. Slowly, deliberately, each word drifting from him like floating feathers. "Laws, my boy, are rarely made because of simple things. They are born from moments. One moment so unexpected, so disruptive, that it echoes. Rowan feels a shiver not of fear but recognition. He watches as the old scribe reaches beneath his desk, pulling out a scroll sealed with red wax, a seal Rowan does not recognize. Myron continues, voice still soft, still steady, like wind combing through tall grass. This law, the one they now call the Spiregate Rule, did not begin with your night. It began long before. Rowan leans closer. Even Feathermore the owl shifts slightly, listening. Myron unrolls the scroll with fragile fingertips, and Rowan sees the ink, faded, ancient, trembling slightly with age. The script reads, "By decree of the High Kingdom, let no soul walk the spire path after the sun has set." By cause of the first incident, Rowan frowns. The first incident? Myron nods slowly, as though the motion itself required permission from time. Yes, yours. Was the second. A hush falls over the hall. Even the candles seem to steady their flames, listening. Rowan waits, breathing soft, calm breaths until Myron's voice resumes. The first incident occurred centuries ago, in the age of a young king whose name is now softened by dust and memory. A night of confusion, of strange lights, of a sound they said was half a roar, and half a laugh. Rowan's heart thumped slow, but full. "What happened?" he whispers. Myron closes his eyes, recalling. They never knew what creature or spirit walked the spire grounds that night, but when dawn broke, the grass was scorched. The stones were cracked, and the king himself had vanished. Rowan feels a ripple of goosebumps whisper across his arms. Gone? A king? Vanished without explanation? Myron nods again. And so a law was made, a rule born from panic and fear, but also from protection, to keep people away, to prevent history from repeating. He gives Rowan a thoughtful, almost fond look. Who could have known it would repeat anyway? A soft exhale, almost a laugh, almost a sigh. Rowan feels the room tilt into stillness, the kind of stillness that invites questions. But also sleep. Because in a way, the story is too large to swallow at once, too old, too tender around the edges, and Rowan, tired from his own encounter, feels a heavy blanket of exhaustion settling across his shoulders. Myron sees it, and with a gentle motion, he lifts the candle nearest him and dims the flame. Rest, he murmurs. We will speak of this again, when morning warms the stones. And Rowan, knowing he is safe here, in the quiet heart of the Hall of Ink and Feather, allows his eyes to drift closed. The candles breathe, the owl breathes, the hall breathes, and night holds him by cause of the first incident. Rowan frowns. First incident? Myron nods slowly, as though the motion itself required permission from time. Yes, yours. Was the second. A hush falls over the hall. Even the candles seem to steady their flames, listening. Rowan waits, breathing soft, calm breaths, until Myron's voice resumes. The first incident occurred centuries ago, in the age of a young king whose name is now softened by dust and memory. A night of confusion, of strange lights, of a sound they said was half a roar, and half a laugh. Rowan's heart thumps slow but full. What happened? He whispers. Myron closes his eyes, recalling. They never knew what creature or spirit walked the spire grounds that night, but when dawn broke, the grass was scorched. The stones were cracked, and the king himself had vanished. Rowan feels a ripple of goosebumps whisper across his arms. Gone? A king? Vanished without explanation? Myron nods again. And so a law was made, a rule born from panic and fear, but also from protection, to keep people away, to prevent history from repeating. He gives Rowan a thoughtful, almost fond look. Who could have known it would repeat anyway? A soft exhale, almost a laugh, almost a sigh. Rowan feels the room tilt into stillness, the kind of stillness that invites questions, but also sleep. Because in a way, the story is too large to swallow at once, too old, too tender around the edges, and Rowan, tired from his own encounter, feels a heavy blanket of exhaustion settling across his shoulders. Myron sees it, and with a gentle motion, he lifts the candle nearest him and dims the flame. Rest, he murmurs. We will speak of this again, when morning warms the stones. And Rowan, knowing he is safe here, in the quiet heart of the Hall of Ink and Feather, allows his eyes to drift closed. The candles breathe, the owl breathes, the hall breathes, and night holds him. And as Rowan drifts into sleep, the Hall of Ink and Feather grows quieter still, a hush wrapping itself around the old stones like a woolen cloak. Outside, a gentle breeze sweeps across Greywick, rustling through herb gardens, rattling wooden shutters softly, and carrying with it the faint scent of rosemary and cool earth. The moon, now high in silver, casts a pale glow through the tall stained glass windows, splintering soft patterns across the floor, patterns that sway lightly with the flicker of the few remaining candles. It is peaceful, deeply, deeply peaceful, and this peace, this soft blanket of night, follows Rowan into his dreams. At first, he dreams of nothing but drifting light, pale ribbons of color swirling gently like falling petals. They curl, they stretch, they pulse with a calm rhythm that matches his breathing, in and out, then slowly, the colors shape themselves, into stone, into paths, into the ancient spire itself. Rowan finds himself standing on the spire grounds, but they look different than before. Younger, brighter, as though he has stepped backward into a time when the stones were uncracked, when the grass was lush and unburned, when the tower stood tall and proud, untouched by fear or rumor. In this dreamscape, everything glows faintly, like candlelight through thin parchment. Rowan looks down. His hands do not tremble. His breath is steady. His chest is calm. The world is inviting him to watch, not to fear. And so, he walks. Each footstep is soft, as though the ground is wrapped in moss. Crickets hum a gentle chorus in the nearby bushes. The night air carries a warm sweetness, almost like honey warmed in a hearthpot. Then, ahead, a figure stands, still, tall, wrapped in shimmering fabric that moves without wind. Rowan stops, but the figure turns to him with a serene expression, not threatening. Not even mysterious in a frightening way, just present. It is a young king, the same King Elder Marin spoke of. Though Rowan knows this only by a quiet instinct, a dream surety. The king's crown glimmers faintly. His hair drifts weightlessly. His eyes, deep and gentle, carry centuries of sleep in them. When he speaks, the voice is soft, like a blanket brushing stone. Do not fear, Rowan's heart slows even more. Yes, this is no nightmare. What happened to you? Rowan asks, his voice equally soft, as though the dream has taught him its language of calm. The king smiles with a sad tenderness. I was taken by wonder, he murmurs. Drawn toward something I did not understand, something luminous, something beautiful. He pauses, as though feeling that same ancient glow in memory. And I step too close. Rowan swallows, not in fear, but in empathy. What was it? He asks. The king's eyes drift skyward as if he sees something Rowan cannot yet perceive. A presence, older than kingdoms, older than the spire itself. A creature, though creature is too small a word. It arrived only once, and when I approached, it carried me away from the world of waking, not in cruelty, but in curiosity. Rowan's breathing slows. Soft, rhythmic, lulled by the king's gentle tone. And when it left, the king continues, the world believed the spire cursed, but it was only ever a doorway. A meeting point between the earthly and something beyond. Rowan steps closer, dreamlight glinting on his armor. And now? Has it gone forever? The king's smile deepens, fragile and warm. Not forever. Just elsewhere. It listens. It watches. And sometimes it reaches out. But fear made the kingdom seal the path. They could not fathom beauty wrapped in the unfamiliar. A long, calming silence drapes itself around them. The air feels thick with softness, like velvet, like dusk. The king then places a handlight as breath against Rowan's shoulder. You saw only a glimpse, brave knight. Enough to awaken the old echoes. Enough to stir memories buried in stone. Rowan's eyelids flutter in the dream, as though drifting into sleep within sleep. Why show me this? He asks gently. The king's answer is almost a whisper. So you may understand that your fear was not weakness, but calling. The spire reacted to you, because you were the first in centuries whose spirit resonated with its otherworldly hum. Rowan's chest warms. As if something inside him, something old and quiet, has finally been acknowledged. And what should I do? He breathes. The king steps back, and the world begins to dissolve into golden mist. Listen, the king says, to the stones, to the wind, to the silence between your heartbeats. You will know when the time is right. Rowan reaches out. But the king's form is already dissolving, like soft ash carried by a sigh, as the dream melts away. Rowan hears one last whisper. The law was made from fear, but perhaps you will be the one to rewrite it with understanding. And then a gentle hand shakes Rowan's shoulder. Not dream, but waking. He opens his eyes slowly, peacefully, finding himself still in the hall of ink and feather. Myron stands over him, holding a small mug of warm herbal brew. Drink, the scribe murmurs. Morning comes softly. But it comes. Rowan sits up, still wrapped in the echo of the dream. And in that soft echo, something has changed. Something important, something quiet, something waiting. Take a slow, deep breath, and let your body sink gently into the soft surface beneath you. Feel the calm wash through your arms, your shoulders, your chest, like a warm, slow tide. Every muscle releases, every thought drifts a little farther away, leaving only stillness and the soft unfolding of our story. Rowan takes the warm mug in his hands. Steam curls upward, carrying the faint scent of chamomile and honey. He feels the heat seep into his palms, warming his bones. And for the first time that morning, he allows a tiny, peaceful smile. The hall of ink and feather is quiet once more. The candles flicker softly. The owl, Feathermore, stretches and settles again, eyes blinking sleepily. And outside, the first breath of dawn slips across the village like a whisper. Rowan drinks the herbal tea slowly, letting it slide down his throat, warming his stomach, and easing the last traces of dream from his body. He stands, feeling a gentle stiffness in his legs, but also a lightness in his chest. The story of the spire, the moonmilk briar's chaos, the glowing riverstone, it all lingers in a soft hum inside him. Like a distant lullaby, Myron watches quietly, smiling faintly. Stories, he says softly, shape laws, shape fear, shape wisdom. Even centuries later they echo. Rowan nods slowly, feeling the resonance of those words. He knows now that the village's laws, strange, whimsical, born from accidents and surprises, carry more than rules. They carry memory. They carry care. They carry guidance, quietly wrapping the villagers in protective, soft layers. Like the gentle arms of night. Step outside with him for a moment. Feel the cool dawn brushing over your skin. The grass wet with dew, tickling your feet if you were standing there. The distant crow of a rooster or the chirp of a sparrow. The air is fresh and clean. And the village slowly awakens under the gentle watch of the rising sun. Rowan walks down the cobblestone lane. Lanterns, now spent of their candlelight, sway gently in the morning breeze. Briar the goat is nearby, chewing softly on a patch of clover, utterly unaware of his legendary fame from past chaos. The river murmurs calmly beside the path, reflecting the first glimmers of sun. And in all this quiet, one can imagine the peace that comes from knowing that even the strangest laws, the ones born from chaos, exist because someone cared, and because something extraordinary once happened. Let your attention drift slowly. As Rowan passes by the bakery, where flour dust still lingers in faint clouds, notice the warmth rising from the oven. Hear the soft creak of the shop door opening. Smell the sweet scent of bread and honey drifting softly through the morning air. These gentle sensory details, they are like a lullaby, settling deeper into your body, encouraging your mind to relax further, to follow the rhythm of soft, easy breaths. In and out. He continues down the village square, where the full moon market will eventually reopen. But for now it is quiet. The ribbons flutter gently from festival poles, catching the morning light. The barrels are securely tied, thanks to Briar's infamous lesson. And in the stillness, Rowan feels the weight of centuries settle gently behind him. The laws of the village, the whimsical, strange, gentle laws, hang in the air like invisible threads, connecting each person, each story, each moment in time, into a soft tapestry. Pause for a moment, and imagine yourself walking this quiet square. Hear the soft crunch of cobblestones underfoot. Feel the warmth of the sun just beginning to spill across your skin. Smell the faint aroma of herbs, bread, and warm earth. Each detail draws you deeper into calm. Each gentle sensation lets go of tension. Each step carries you farther into the comfort of a world softly awake and softly dreaming. Rowan pauses beside the spire. The gate is closed, as the law demands. The stones are old yet dignified. The morning light glances across the surface, revealing patterns and textures that hint at centuries of whispered stories. He touches the smooth stone lightly, and for a moment he feels a connection, a quiet, timeless understanding that the laws of the village are not merely rules, but echoes of human hearts responding to extraordinary moments. And as Rowan steps away, the village itself seems to sigh softly in relief. The sun climbs higher. The birds begin their gentle songs. The river sparkles like liquid silver. And the memory of moonlit adventures, rolling barrels, mischievous goats, enchanted mushrooms, all linger like a gentle melody, soothing every corner of the village and every corner of your mind. Feel your body relax even more now. As if the soft warmth of sunlight is flowing through your veins, your arms feel heavy. Your legs feel pleasantly weighted. Your eyelids are gentle curtains, drooping naturally over tired eyes. Each exhale carries a little more calm. Each inhale brings a little more softness, and the story continues to wrap itself around you like a warm, peaceful blanket. Rowan returns to the Hall of Ink and Feather. Myron is still there, slowly sorting ancient scrolls, moving with the ease of decades of gentle habit. The old scribe glances at Rowan, nods and whispers softly. Some laws are born from fear, some from accident, some from magic, and some from goats, but all are lessons. Soft lessons to guide hearts, quietly and patiently. Rowan smiles faintly. He takes one last look around the hall. The candles now mere stubs of wax, the owl dozing peacefully above, the soft morning light slipping through the stained glass. And he feels, for the first time in hours, perfectly at peace. Take a moment. Let your own heart beat slow to match this calm rhythm. Feel the warmth of your blanket or pillow. Feel your body sink further into softness. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the slow, quiet rhythm of your breath. And allow every detail of this story, the mushrooms, the rolling barrels, the moon milk, the spire, Briar the goat, all to settle into a soft, comforting hum in your mind. You are safe, you are calm, you are drifting deeper and deeper into gentle sleep. The village of Greywick rests now. Lanterns no longer flicker, the spire is silent. Briar chews contentedly, the river whispers softly to itself. And the stories that gave rise to strange, wonderful laws float quietly in the hearts of those who remember. And now in your heart, too. You are embraced by the warmth of centuries of calm. Every gentle story thread wraps around you. Every whisper of the wind, every rustle of leaves, every soft murmur of the village lulls you further and further toward sleep. Take a long, slow breath in and let it flow out like a ribbon of warm light. Feel your body sink deeper into softness. Every muscle unwinding, every thought drifting, leaving only stillness and comfort as you follow the village of Greywick into the quiet of morning. The village is now bathed in gentle sunlight. Shadows stretch lazily across the cobblestones. The air is cool, carrying the soft scent of wildflowers, hay, and distant river mist. Every sound is muted, calm, as though the world itself is exhaling slowly, carefully, to not disturb the delicate hush of this enchanted place. Rowan walks through the square once more. The festival ribbons flutter faintly in the morning breeze. Briar chews quietly on a patch of clover near the baker's stall, his mischief subdued for now. And the villagers, though awake and moving about their chores, carry an invisible softness, the gentle echo of the unusual, the whimsical, the extraordinary events that shaped their laws. Pause and imagine this. Feel your own breath slow to match the calm rhythm of the village. Notice the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the gentle rustle of leaves, the soft hum of the river, calm and steady. Each sensation carries you deeper into the comfort of Greywick and the slow mesmerizing pull of sleep. Now, Rowan moves toward the market square, where a new day begins quietly. The tables are being cleaned after the previous night's moon milk adventures. Bakeries release soft clouds of warmth from their ovens. The scent of bread, honey, and sweet pastry drifts into the morning air. And the villagers, in their gentle rhythm, prepare for another day, each step infused with the echoes of stories and laws born from past surprises. Rowan pauses at the spire gate, now bathed in the soft golden light of the rising sun. He touches the smooth stone, a grounding moment, anchoring him to the long history of the village, to centuries of care, wonder, and mischief. The gate, the spire, and the surrounding stones hold memories of enchanted mushrooms, rolling barrels, and moon milk dreams. They remember every step of every villager, every accident, every lesson learned softly, gently, like a lullaby. Step with Rowan through the quiet lanes. Feel the cobblestones beneath your feet. Cool, smooth, comforting. Imagine the soft rustle of garments as villagers go about their gentle routines, the distant clinking of tools in workshops, the faint aroma of herbs drying in the sun. All these details drifting over you like a slow, warm current, settling your body, relaxing your mind. At the edge of the village, Rowan stops near the old willow tree by the river. The water sparkles in the morning sun, smooth and serene. He leans gently against the tree trunk, listening to the river's soft murmur. The story of the glowing riverstone, buried centuries ago, lives here too quiet, magical, mysterious. Its presence reminds Rowan, and now you, that the world often hides wonders where only patience and attention can find them, and even when chaos or enchantment arrives, the aftermath can leave beauty, lessons, and calm in its place. Breathe slowly. As Rowan rests by the river, notice the faint scent of moss, fresh water, and soft earth. Feel your own body soften, as if you too are leaning against the willow. Listening to the river, hum a gentle lullaby. The villagers appear along the banks now, quietly, without rush. Some wash clothes in the river, dipping them softly into the clear water. Some gather herbs, bending low to the plants as though sharing a secret. Children skip stones, their movements gentle, deliberate, peaceful. Even Briar occasionally trots by, curious but calm, his golden eyes reflecting the sun. Step into that peace yourself. Let your body feel the warmth of the sun, the gentle pressure of earth beneath your feet. Hear the river's soft murmur, the meadow's gentle sway, the bird's quiet song. Every sound is gentle, every movement soft, and your mind drifts deeper, freer, more relaxed. Letting the calm wash through every part of you, your legs, your arms, your chest, your mind, like a soft, endless tide. Rowan watches the sun rise higher. It casts golden light over the village, illuminating the cobblestones, the rooftops, the gentle swaying of the meadow grasses. The warm light touches your skin too, like a soft caress. Every inch of your body grows heavier, slower. Each breath a little longer, a little softer, and the rhythm of the village, the river, the meadows, wraps around your mind like a cocoon of calm. And in this gentle embrace, you drift further, softly, slowly, toward the edge of conscious thought, toward the comforting shadowed realm where dreams wait quietly, and the strange, whimsical laws of Greywick continue to hum, softly and endlessly, like a lullaby from centuries past, meant only to soothe, to protect, to lull every wandering heart into rest. Feel your eyelids grow heavier, your jaw softening, your shoulders release in tension, your spine sinking deeper into warmth and comfort, and your mind drifting softly, gently, into the slow, quiet world of dreams. The villagers move slowly. The river hums quietly. The wind whispers softly through the meadows. Briar grazes quietly, and Rowan, wrapped in the gentle wisdom of his village, rests, peaceful, as the world holds its breath around him. Take one final deep breath and let it flow out completely, allowing your body, your mind, your spirit to surrender fully to sleep. The laws, the stories, the strange incidents all remain safe, softly humming, guarding your rest as you drift deeper into a slow, peaceful, dream-filled sleep. Take a deep, gentle breath and let it flow out slowly, feeling every part of your body sink deeper into warmth, comfort, and calm. Your legs are heavy, your arms are soft, your shoulders release, and your mind drifts like the softest cloud over the quiet village of Greywick. Rowan lies back on the soft grass of the flowering hilltop. Briar curls up beside him, chest rising and falling with the slow rhythm of sleep. The morning sun paints everything with soft golden light, and the gentle wind carries a faint scent of lavender, rosemary, and the sweet meadows beyond the village. The air is warm, calm, and steady, wrapping Rowan in a blanket of quiet. He watches the village from above, the spires standing tall, dignified, the river reflecting the sun in slow, glittering waves, the meadows swaying with a peaceful rhythm, and every corner of the village holding the echoes of centuries of unusual incidents. Turned into laws, turned into gentle reminders, turned into calm. Imagine yourself here with him, lying on the warm grass, feeling the soft earth beneath your body, the warmth of sunlight over your skin, the gentle sway of flowers brushing your hands and cheeks, and letting your breath slow, deep, and steady, matching the rhythm of Rowan's heartbeat, the rhythm of the village, the rhythm of the earth itself. Rowan closes his eyes and lets his mind drift, thinking of the past night of the full moon market, the dreamlike villagers swaying in laughter and wonder, the moon milk floating them softly into whimsy, the enchanted mushrooms glowing gently under the night sky, the barrels rolling harmlessly across the cobblestones, and the lessons learned from every strange, magical event, all of it gentle, soft like a lullaby carried on the evening breeze. And now it floats into your mind as well, settling there like a cloud, soft and protective. A gentle breeze brushes across the hilltop. It carries the faint whisper of the river, the distant coo of doves, and the soft rustle of the trees in the meadow. Rowan breathes in this calm deeply, feeling the magic and safety of Greywick surround him. And you feel it too. As your body becomes heavier, your mind quieter, your thoughts slower, every sensation carrying you further into rest. Rowan imagines the villagers waking slowly to another day. They tend to their chores with soft, deliberate movements, laughing quietly, gently, reminded by their whimsical laws to move carefully, thoughtfully, and to treat every day as a mixture of ordinary life and hidden wonder. The village, alive but gentle, flows around Rowan like a soft stream, and you drift with it. Weightless, calm, and completely safe. The river whispers to Rowan, its soft, rhythmic current echoing the stories of Greywick, the barrels, the moon milk, the glowing stones, the Spiregate incident, all lessons now woven into the gentle heartbeat of the village. He listens, and each whisper brings a sense of peace. A reminder that chaos can be turned into calm, fear into protection, and the extraordinary can exist quietly alongside the ordinary, without disturbing the comfort of those who live there. And as you listen too, your own mind absorbs this peace, your body sinking further into softness, every breath slower, deeper, and smoother. Each heartbeat syncing with the quiet rhythm of the village, the river, the meadows, drifting ever closer to dream. Rowan rises slowly, feeling the soft warmth of sunlight on his armor and skin. He walks along the hilltop, past fields of swaying wildflowers, the soft buzz of bees and hum of insects blending into the symphony of morning. Briar follows lazily, grazing quietly, and the river flows steadily in the distance, its song gentle and hypnotic. Imagine walking this path yourself, feeling the soft grass beneath your feet, the sun's warmth on your skin, the gentle breeze brushing your cheeks, and allowing every muscle, every nerve, every thought to sink further into calm, into rest, into deep relaxation. The hilltop gives way to a forested path where sunlight filters softly through the leaves, casting slow, dancing shadows on the forest floor. Rowan moves quietly, hearing the gentle tap of his boots on the soft earth, the whisper of leaves, the distant call of a nightingale returning to the safety of the treetops. The forest feels alive, but safe, like a guardian holding the village in soft, quiet balance. And as Rowan walks, so do you, following him into deeper calm, deeper peace, letting every detail of this enchanted forest guide your mind toward rest, toward dream, toward complete relaxation. He pauses beside a small glade where sunlight spills like golden liquid. A soft mist rises from the dew-covered grass and the faint scent of moss, earth, and wildflowers mingles in the air. Rowan sits here for a long moment, breathing deeply, feeling the magic of the place seep into him. Its soft, gentle energy carrying a sense of safety, calm, and timelessness. You too feel this energy flowing through your body, settling in your chest, spreading through your arms, your legs, and into every part of you, as if the forest itself is whispering you into rest. Take another slow, deep breath, and let it out slowly, feeling every muscle release, every thought drift away, every worry dissolve. And imagine Rowan finally lying back in the glade, eyes closed. Briar curled beside him, the river humming in the distance, the forest and meadow surrounding him with protective calm, and you drifting deeper into sleep alongside him, completely safe, completely serene, completely at peace. The wind sighs through the trees, the river hums quietly, the meadows sway gently, and Greywick holds its breath, a village steeped in stories, laws, and whimsical magic, all quietly guiding the world towards safety, calm, and rest. And now, you drift fully, softly, slowly, into deep, peaceful sleep, the stories of Greywick wrapping around you like a warm, comforting blanket, leading you into dreams that are gentle, kind, and magical. Rowan slowly rises from the forest glade, the soft mist curling around his boots. Briar trots beside him, ears flicking gently as if listening to the whispers of the wind. The forest thins, opening onto the golden meadows once more, where flowers sway lazily in the breeze and the distant river glimmers like a ribbon of liquid silver. Rowan walks with calm deliberation, every step slow, measured, matching your own heartbeat, steady, soft, hypnotic. As Rowan moves across the meadow, he recalls the lessons hidden in the whimsical laws of Greywick, the rolling barrels, the moon milk misadventure, the enchanted mushrooms glowing under moonlight, the Spiregate incident, and the strange singular events that shaped the village's traditions. Every law is a soft guardian, every story a lullaby. And now, these whispers of history flow gently into your mind, encouraging your body to relax further, your breathing to slow, your eyelids to grow heavier. The path leads Rowan to a small hill overlooking the river. He pauses and leans against a weathered oak tree, feeling its rough bark warm in the morning sun, its strength grounding him in this gentle, magical world. The river flows below, murmuring softly, its song steady, calm. A natural rhythm that matches the slow beat of your own heart. Imagine yourself here, leaning against the tree beside Rowan. Feeling the warmth of sunlight, the gentle caress of the breeze. Hearing the water hum, the leaves rustle, the distant birds sing. All soft, all calm. Each detail lulling your mind and body further into relaxation. Deeper into sleep. From the hilltop, Rowan sees the village below. The spire standing tall, dignified. The cobblestone streets winding gently through the cottages. The meadows stretching out like soft green waves. And the villagers moving with deliberate care, their steps slow, their voices gentle, their laughter quiet and soothing. Every detail carries a soft magic. The echoes of centuries of unusual incidents now transformed into guidance, protection, and calm. And as you watch with Rowan, feel yourself sinking deeper into the peaceful rhythm of this world, your body and mind aligning with its gentle pace. Every exhale releasing tension, every inhale inviting serenity. Rowan descends the hill, moving toward the riverside once more. Briar grazes lazily along the bank, the soft clinking of a distant bell marking the slow start of the village day. The water sparkles in the sunlight, reflecting the sky, trees, and spire like a mirror of calm. Rowan kneels, letting his fingers touch the cool, flowing surface. The river hums softly in response. It sounds like a lullaby wrapping around every fiber of your body, encouraging stillness, peace, and deep relaxation. Take a moment to feel the same calm. Your fingertips tracing an imaginary ribbon of water, the river's soft hum flowing through you. Your muscles melting further into softness. Your mind floating like a feather, drifting with Rowan beside the gentle currents. Every sense alive yet at ease, each sound and scent guiding you deeper into tranquility. Rowan rests by the riverbank, eyes closed, breathing slowly and deeply. The sun climbs higher, casting warm golden light over the meadow and village beyond. Briar stretches and curls again into a small, comfortable ball, and the forest, river, and meadows seem to exhale, filling the air with the soft, steady rhythm of life in Greywick. The stories that shaped the village laws, born from chaos, magic, and wonder, linger like a soft murmur in the background. Their gentle lessons wrapping around you, protecting you, soothing you, lulling you ever closer to sleep. Imagine the wind brushing through the meadow grasses, the faint rustle of flowers as they sway, the warm sunlight on your skin, and the soft, rhythmic hum of the river nearby. Feel yourself moving with Rowan, slow, steady, peaceful. Every muscle relaxed, every thought quieting, your mind drifting like a soft cloud over the village, carried gently toward the world of dreams. Rowan eventually rises and walks along the river path, each step deliberate, calm, and unhurried. The village stretches along the riverbank, its houses, workshops, and spires standing in perfect quiet harmony. Even the animals, like Briar and the distant birds, move with measured grace, their presence adding to the soft, hypnotic rhythm of this morning scene.